Thank you all for tuning in to Breathing is Highly Dangerous. We are giving our first breath, working toward and hoping for the next, all the while fearing our last. Welcome to the show.
No,
The event.
a little bit more grand.
The movement.
That's better, I like that.
The movement of the century.
Well, movement, that may be a little bit much. How about a conquest to ferment the ones ignoble that try to impinge their iniquitous veracity to our thoughts?
Look, man, do you want me to do this or not? Either way, I get paid.
Sorry, go ahead.
We've come to ask why, but never satisfied with a simple answer. Discovering the not-so-secret secrets. Playing coy into the ploy, kicking every rock, smiling with joy. Here is your host. He puts the U in unusual, the P in pterodactyl. Not just why, he also asks how. If you suffer from
Hippopotamonstros esquipedaliophobia.
please leave now. No one will believe you. I give you Emmanuel Manny Stewart.
Thank you, all of you. Welcome back. We're here with Oji once again, a friend of the show.
Back for round two.
Round two, and we have something special to talk about.
We do.
Yeah. You know what today is?
Friday.
Friday. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Dang, you flipped my perspective.
And everything said forth from here is the most important thing that will have been said today, because it's the newest thing that's coming to your ear every single second, every single millisecond, every single Zepo second.
Zepo second?
Zeptosecond.
So that's obviously smaller than...
It's a trillionth of a billionth of a second.
Dang, you teaching me stuff, man.
No, but you coming in with the fashion today, again, wrapped like a Christmas present, with the Keith Haring, shirt,
Keith Haring.
the crucifix earring, gold, beautiful, and the crossbody pouch,
Oh, it's right here, guys.
and a blue jean wash jacket. Beautiful. Where do you get your fashion from, man?
My fashion sense, or where I actually get stuff from?
Tell me the beginning. Tell me about OG.
Okay. Well, truth is, I ought to come clean about this. My family, my mom especially, she was a god when it came to fashion. Like, oh my god, like, my whole family really.
Really?
Like, they just...
Is she like a seamstress or something?
No, she... You know, New York, it's just like, it's a fashion capital.
Okay.
Or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like, everybody kind of has to...
Like have your own little thing, like
Yeah.
stand out.
So
and
my
be
family,
fresh.
that's just how... Yeah.
Like
that's how
fresh
it
to
is.
death. That's what it would have been at the time.
Right. In the 80s to 90s or whatever.
Right.
And so I would always, I kind of pick up fashion tips for my own family.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she would help style me or whatever. And I kind of, over time, I started to pick up my own sense of things. Like, I knew I was always into skateboarding.
Okay.
Like, way before, like, how, like, I mean, it was mainstream back in the days, but, like, now it's, like, you see everybody, everybody's wearing the whole wide crop pants with the cuffed jeans or cuffed chinos. Whatever.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I've been doing that for years.
Right.
I've been, like,
That
I've
is
always
a brand new style. Like they
mainstream
straight
brand
ripped
new.
that.
Yeah, they, like, appropriated skateboarder style. Like,
Yo.
I've always been into that. And so I got inspired by, like, also that show Rocket Power as on Nickelodeon.
Otto,
That show, yeah,
yes.
Otto. Yeah, that show was
Otto
my
was
thing,
the
man. Like,
G.
that Tony Hawk Underground
Yeah.
and Tony Hawk Pro Skater and all that stuff. Like, I love skateboarding culture and surfing culture and all
Right.
that. And I'm like, okay, what could I do to incorporate that to my own style? Because I'm like, I don't have all these fashion pieces or whatever. So
Right.
let me see what I could do. So I always have like somebody that I try to emulate, but I don't want to completely jack their style.
Right, you want to take the inspiration and create your own feel through like multiple people or something like that.
Right.
Who was like some of the first people you were sort of looking at? Like, was there anyone in particular, or was it just a
Definitely
culture?
Pharrell.
Pharrell?
Definitely Pharrell. I've been following him like
Like the
most of my life.
Neutrons, Pharrell?
Who?
The Neutrons?
What are the Neutrons?
Isn't that the name of his group?
The Neptunes. It's like the Neutrons.
Yo, sorry. It's
Yeah,
not new.
like Pharrell Williams.
Right. Yeah. Wait. Did he have fashion before?
Yeah, he's always been into it. It's just now that it's being more pushed.
Yeah.
You don't even think of him as a musician anymore. But like since I was a kid, I loved like the Neptune sound or whatever, like their music, because they used to dominate the airwaves back in like the early 2000s, late 90s.
See, is that true? See,
it's true. I read an article a long time ago saying about 40% of songs on the radio between 2001 to 2003 were by them. Like a lot
in terms of production?
Yeah.
That is so wild, you know?
42%. I'll send you that article.
I'm so out of touch. Like, there's so many people, like, I know that they're famous, right? And, like, if I heard the name, like, I thought it was not Neutrons, because it was the N, so it's I knew there was something to that, right? The N-E part. But
Jimmy Neutron.
That's... Because I know they were popular, but I never knew how popular they were.
No, they've been huge for a long time.
Yeah, I couldn't name any song that they did, though. That's unfortunate. But I didn't know they had, like a fashion thing. I didn't know... I haven't seen any of their music videos or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, also styles, like, evolved where now people could kind of wear whatever they want.
That's true.
But, like... Because I'd say back then...
A lot of androgyny as well.
Yeah. But, like, back then, it was more... Which I still admired. It was like more of in a box. Like it was like more like baggy clothes and hip hop stuff because they were into a bathing ape. So a bathing ape is it was started by a guy named Nigo, and he's Japanese, and he would work with Pharrell, and they created BBC Ice Cream Billionaire Boys Club. And
is that where that's from?
Yeah,
I've seen that, and I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, the Billionaire Boys Club. And so, Pharrell, I'd say he's the one that kind of got like Bathing Ape popular, along with Biggie Smalls. A lot of people did not know that. So in the late 90s, you could look at some old like pictures of him, and you'll see him in like a Bape camo hoodie type thing. There are a few pictures like that.
That is because... That is so amazing.
But this is like old, like streetwear has been around for. It's just now more mainstream.
Right,
and before it was like more underground.
That's real part of street like skate culture because I see like the stickers for it and stuff all the time. I'm like, what is that for? You're wearing like the shirts, and I'm like, that's so cool. But what is it? And like, what? How am I not wearing that too?
Like, I mean, you could start right now.
I'm not going to.
But yeah, and then another thing that got it popular was the movie Kids. So that was also New York in the mid 90s, and there was a skateboarder named Harold Hunter.
Okay.
And he kind of got a couple things more mainstream, but I remember in the movie, I think some of the kids were wearing Supreme shirts.
Right.
And so like Supreme was only a year old when that movie came out.
So then they wound up blowing up because of that?
Yeah. Well, sort of, but it was like more of like a New York type of thing.
Sure.
Like if you're familiar with like New York's culture, like people knew about like I've known about Supreme for like ages, and and then Tyler the Creator really was the one that kind of got it more mainstream, and then a couple more people started picking up. But like Tyler the Creator really revolutionized like fashion of the last decade up till now. People do not realize that. Some people do,
right?
And I've read articles about that, but he's really the one that revolutionized that for this era. But before that, like. I used to think that Supreme and Obey were kind of similar, but now like Obey, they kind of fell off and Supreme took the lead.
Obey! O-B-E-Y!
Yeah.
I know that one too!
Yeah.
Wow, that's so... Wow, that's... Oh my goodness, all this stuff I've seen and never... Like, that's wild.
No, I'm heavy into fashion. Oh, but back to the original question. So, so... I kind of blend styles together, which is also kind of more accepted nowadays. Like this isn't new. This is from like the 60s, like British mod fashion.
Right.
And I've always liked Keith Haring, another New York artist. And
yeah,
I think
he painted on the Berlin Wall. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And he did paint on the Berlin Wall, and he also he has like murals that are kind of still all over New York.
Yeah.
And this is random, but I think I discovered him from Sesame Street, actually, when I was a kid.
That's very highly possible.
Like, I'm pretty sure there was, like, these little figures. I forgot what they were called, but they were definitely in Sesame Street. And I was just like, oh, that's really cool. It's interesting.
That is wild. Yeah, because I know him, like, I just happened to find, like, Keith Haring. I don't know, I was into art, like younger. So then there's this one character, like only there's that dog that he draws that has, like...
That had to have been in Sesame Street. I'm pretty sure it was that. But I don't know. I always gravitated, and the colors were bright and everything like that. And it was, like, really wacky. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah,
before I knew who he was, I was drawing, like, things similar to that. Like, more, like he draws more personified, but I sort of did that, but abstract. And, like, a lot of my art teams, like, look at this artist, and you are drawing, like, stuff similar to that. So then I found him, and, like, I found this one character that has his arm sticking out like this. And then I made that character to a vampire. Unless he did that and I stole it from him. Because I remember there's one character that has his arms out like that. And it's like, it's really cool. He's a really cool cat. Like, aside from anything that people say bad about him. Like, I don't know his personal life or anything like that. I don't care about it. But his art is like...
His art
what's
speaks
meaningful.
For it, yeah.
Right. It's really cool. And he's probably... You know what? He was probably a homosexual.
He was.
Was he? The rainbow. Yeah, that might be it.
It's so weird. It took me a while to realize that. Like, I wasn't even putting two and two together. But yeah, he's...
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was. And then unfortunately he died of AIDS.
Did he die of AIDS?
Yeah.
Okay, that's unfortunate. Like, before all
the
health...
medications started coming up, but that was in the early 90s. I think he died in 1990 or something.
Oh, wow.
So
like,
he was in his late 30s.
Same time as Freddie Mercury, the gay god of all.
Yeah. So yeah, AIDS was kind of like a death sentence.
Yeah.
Up until like 1995-ish.
Right. Like, there was the one kid, like Ryan White, the first person to have it in America, right? Is the dude that Michael Jackson was with all the time. Like, I think he was the first American to contract AIDS. Like, and through birth, because he was born with it, I believe.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Correction, Ryan White was not the first case of HIV/AIDS in the United States, nor was he born with the disease. He contracted the disease in 1984 through a blood transfusion to treat his hemophilia, and his school subsequently denied his return to the classroom, and through his advocacy, research, and educating the public, he became a poster boy for HIV/AIDS epidemic during the time. His story, strength, and bravery caught the attention of many notable figures during the mid to late 80s and early 90s. He tragically died of AIDS in 1990, but his mark on the world and his advocacy and all the things he have taught us will never leave. Remember Ryan. I think he died in like 91, because Michael Jackson made a tribute song to him on the Dangerous album, which was 91.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Gone Too Soon, yeah. That was...
Oh, that's what that was about?
Yeah, it was about this kid named Ryan White, yeah.
Yeah, the names sound familiar, but I had no idea what that was
I could be totally wrong. I'm in my head.
Alright, maybe you guys could educate us in the...
Absolutely put the corrections in if you have any further knowledge about the subject or any discussion.
But yeah,
New York fashion. So is that where your family was sort of based when they came here?
Yeah, they mainly went to New York, and then some went to Toronto.
Oh, and Toronto, that's right.
Yeah, because my family, they first went to Toronto, and then they came to New York.
Toronto has their own sort of fashion now, right? Like, it's...
Yeah?
I guess they're stealing from American culture, really, though.
Yeah, kind of.
Like, United States
Yeah,
culture,
Toronto was interesting. Like,
a lot of puffy coats. Like,
yeah, North Face and stuff like that. Oh, and Roots. So that's another thing. So because my family lives all over the place, I could kind of I would pick up like on fashion from other places, like growing up and traveling a lot,
right?
As being other places. Like nowadays, it's like you could log on to Instagram and steal somebody's style, but back then, like fashion was more centralized to cities. Like stuff that I would see only in New York, I would never see here, or stuff I would see in London, I would never see in like Toronto, or stuff in Chicago or wherever, I wouldn't see anywhere else. So that I kind of missed that because it was like I'd be a little bit more original when I would wear like a Roots shirt.
Like when you travel, exactly.
Yeah, they'd be like, Roots, what's that? And now it's just like, I've actually seen people in Atlanta with shirts that say Roots. I'm like, how do you know about this? But then again, there are a lot of people that are from Canada here.
People are starting to, like, the social media is what you really said, is really what's making that accessible and, like, but I think that's...
But also, unfortunately, because of that, subcultures are dying.
Right.
I went into my sister's high school, and I'm like, where are all the goth kids and the emos and
like,
rednecks?
Everyone's trying to be the same. It's like,
all the kids look the same. But when I started high school, it wasn't really like that.
Yeah.
It was still like, there were distinct groups. Like, it was like... Now it's like the cool popular kids want to watch anime and they want to be nerdy. I'm like, dude,
is switching up.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you know what flack I used to get for being like nerdy and liking anime?
Right.
Like, I've been to anime most of my life. My parents are the ones that got me into anime.
Really? So your parents were even weirder.
Yeah, my parents are hip.
They weren't hip at the time. They were.
Yeah.
Wow. No, that's amazing. Because I think that's a good thing. Like sharing the cultures, sharing the certain things that you enjoy, but also I think that like it really
I like keeping originality also in certain places.
I love that, like being special and unique. Like you have to, like with all these things you're sharing now, people have to work harder to be original. Like before, it was
more organic.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's just like
a lot of force and like
everything is forced now, and it's like agitating.
Yeah,
like,
everything is copying something else, and like I know where you got that from because I saw this on this person's page. Like,
just come up with, and that's what I do with fashion. I put this together today, like completely last minute. I had something completely different imagined for me today, and I'm just like, you know what? I like this shirt. I like those pants, and I've been wearing these shoes a lot lately. So I'm like, these shoes kind of go with it a lot. They're super comfy or whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of how I do things. Like, I could style people. Like, I could kind of figure out what your style is and then quickly put it together in my head and then give you something.
So
I don't know. I would like to be a fashion stylist, actually.
Would you actually?
Yeah.
Is that something that you've always done? You always, whenever you wake up, is that you are actively thinking about what works or...
Kind of, but like in recent years, I've gotten more into it. Like now, it's like I really pay attention. Like, I've been watching this one YouTube channel for like a couple of years now, and he kind of helped me. His name is Frugal Aesthetic.
Okay.
And that guy, he's from Hawaii originally, but then I think he moved to LA, and then like he moved to New York. So he's been based in New York for a while now.
So he probably does like shopping at like a Goodwill or like thrift shops and stuff, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of that, and I think he goes to a lot of stores for like high fashion or whatever. But he has partnerships or whatever where these people, they send him like clothing.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
I think that is really like, because that's always something I've never had like an inkling or a taste for. Like, I'm more like, if I had a style, like the style in my head would be like preppy, like just straight cut. But I've been trying to like delve out into certain other like more urban wear, because I'm like, I like that, but I don't want to sag, and I want to wear
sagging
a belt.
is like kind of out of style though.
People still do it, and they wear shorts underneath and stuff like. But like whenever,
not as much as they used to.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Way less.
Right, but like that, like I'm glad, because I don't want to be seeing a bunch of.
And neither do I.
Hanging out.
Neither
right.
do I.
Like, it's ridiculous that was even that was a thing, and it's still a thing in some
It's still a
places.
thing, especially when I go to work. Like, I actually see, I'm like, oh, people still do this? Because when I walk out on the street, outside of work, when I walk around the streets, I rarely ever see it, to be honest. Maybe because it's just like all the people that come to my job are so bottom of the barrels in society, so that's why it looks like there's a lot. But outside of there, I never see it. I swear.
And I think that maybe a good societal change, like, cause
that's a great societal change.
Yeah, but yeah, when I was growing up, like that was sort of like, cause I grew up in like, well, for part of it, I grew up in rougher neighborhoods, and then when I went to like the suburban like sort of areas, there was like I didn't.
They definitely still did it in the suburbs for sure.
They did, because they were trying to copy the urban aesthetic, and like, yeah, I didn't like it there. I'm not gonna like it here. So like, my fashion never fit in, so I didn't really care. But also, I always had like hand-me-downs, so I just put together whatever. So I'd be wearing like yellow with anything. Like I had this one yellow sweater I used to love, and I wore it with literally everything. There was also a pair of overalls that I had from when
I love how those are coming back into fashion.
I'm pissed at how they're coming back, because I said I wanted to bring them back. I'm jealous of people that have overalls. I'm like, no fair. Because I loved my pair of overalls. I'm like, okay, I've got to keep that there. And then I'll bring it back. But people have brought it back before me. I'm like, oh no. And now people are doing the one strap. I'm like, no, you rugrat.
Ah, you said rugrat. That's that Fresh Prince right there.
Oh,
he does that too.
Yeah,
it's a total 90s thing. Again, like fashion is just cycling over.
Yeah, I think that is like a lot of the fashion actually is really, it is coming back like from nostalgia and stuff, because people are really loving those times and like the fashion during those times, and I think that's good to appreciate that. But then also, you're not original. Like a lot of kids are going based off these social media people and saying, oh, I'm dressing like this person. Like, no, that person's dressing like this person from 25 years ago, you little child. Like, it's nice that you're paying homage to it, but if you don't know you're paying homage to something and you're thinking you're being fresh and new, like, you're not fresh and new, you're copying.
Right. I feel like people do stuff now for, like, clout. It's, like, to be seen. Like, when I dress with fashion, it's just, like, it's just how I'm feeling at the moment. And it's like, whether people compliment me or not, I feel good about it. But it's like people, they specifically do things just so...
for attention.
Yeah.
Right. Or for recognition. Like positive attention.
It's just like with social media now. It's like, I was looking at YouTube videos from like 2010 versus like now. And there's like a night and day difference from when I was like in high school versus now. I'm like, oh my God. Like...
Even
if you look at videos,
between,
it's like people it was like more home videos, like the type of videos that were uploaded.
Right.
And nowadays, it's like people, all they do are challenges, and all they do are these couple videos, and like they do stuff to be monetized.
Right.
I'm looking at you girls on OnlyFans. But like, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. And...
It's like nothing's done for fun anymore. It's always like, what do I need an audience?
Right.
Why can't I just have fun in the moment and then share it? Because remember, YouTube videos used to go viral because it's just like, it was funny.
The moment, the event, and being able to capture a moment, not filming every single thing, hoping to capture a moment. It's like you having a phone, like, because everyone didn't have a camera phone, right? So you happen to have a camera at the right time. It's like, yo, that's what.
Right.
Look at that. Or like you playing with the camera. It's like, okay. And it's like, but now everything is like such a production, and it's like that's fine and cool, whatever. But
but they do it with everything. I'm just like,
right. And every production is not good, right? So if you're not putting effort into making a decent product, like, I think, but if they're doing it and they're getting views, they're successful. So I can't knock the success of it, but I can knock I found myself really limiting myself to like current medias, like, because I don't like a lot of stuff anyway. So like it doesn't matter. Like if it's like I don't care about, like, there's only certain things I'm nostalgic about, right? So like, I'm cool with the stuff I've already heard and already learned. So I'm like, I'm cool with that. I don't need to hear all this new stuff. Like, it's like in terms of music, like videos and stuff. And I don't really rewatch stuff. Like, and some people don't interest me. Like most popular people, I don't find interesting personally. And not to say they're not. If they're popular, that means they're interesting to somebody. Right. But I don't know. Some people do you deserve the attention for what you're doing? Like what? I mean, if you're getting
and many times, yes, they do. But then in some cases, I don't know. Like I said, it's just hype.
Right.
They're just popular based off of hype.
A lot of people would deem what I say is being a hater. I'm not being a hater. I admire success.
Keeping it real, yo.
But I don't appreciate the method of which you got that success, if you know what I mean.
No, I completely understand, and I hope you guys do too.
Right. So I think people do good things. People do good things and are unsuccessful, and then people do bad things and are successful. Right.
Yeah.
So it's all that, and based on people's like experience and stuff, they'll deem that as good or bad. But I guess I have a, what do you call it? What would people call me, or I call myself? Pretentious. I'm pretentious, right? So I'm very highbrow, like my chin up to everything.
Posh.
Posh, right? And I don't know, I'm not that.
It's not exactly posh, but like...
That's beside the point. We weren't talking about that. Get back to what we...
It was fashion.
Yeah, fashion. Forwardness. What are some fashion statements that you despise? Are there any that you despise or try to stray away from or don't agree with?
Oh!
Yeah.
Yes, you asked the right person. I really hate the makeup trend where girls put on too much bronzer, put on the weird eyebrows that make them look scary. Like... I hate it. I truly hate it. And you know what? You could put all the hate in the comments you want. I love it. I'm fueled by hate. I'm like 50 Cent, baby. So, like, you know those like the exactly eyebrows that look like taper fades. It's mad ugly, and I hate it. And
the thick is like
they're like thick as this.
They're like not zip codes. What do you call them? Barcodes. Barcodes.
Yeah, they look like barcodes. This is a perfect comparison. I'm like. And their foundation looks ugly. And I'm like, yo, why do girls go out of their way to make themselves look ugly? Right. Like, why is this a thing?
All right. No, I completely agree with that. Yeah, women, what? Okay. So, I think makeup inherently, the original purpose of it was...
To touch up. It was just like a touch-up thing and enhance already features that
enhance
exist.
Features.
Yeah, but now they're trying to like change their whole face.
They're trying to.
They look like clowns, like literally clowns, like scary, terrifying.
Depending on the intention. So if you're playing dress up during your makeup for a character, like I want to be a monster or I want to be a dude, like fine. Whatever, but your everyday like beautification makeup.
Yeah, and they do it every day.
You look like a different person.
It's scary.
That is called entrapment. that is called false advertisement. Like if I'm trying to pursue you, right, and you have a face full of makeup, and then I wake up in the morning next to a dude, you lie to me. Like you look.
Yeet.
Oh, dude looks like a lady, or like lady looks like a dude, or whatever. But you wake up and your whole face is stuck on the pillow in the morning, like yo, and then you look over.
Yeah, I'm not gonna date any girls that do stuff like that. That's trash.
I mean, if they did it at one point and they changed their ways and acknowledged that they were wrong, then I'm okay with it, right? But that's
it's
like
not as exaggerated as it was maybe a year ago, but like it's still pretty bad.
I don't know, but there's like that bronzing thing.
It's disgusting.
Like why do you think that looks good?
It doesn't. It just there's no way around it. It doesn't look good.
I mean, for some people, like fine. Like, are you trying to be a bodybuilder like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that? Like, what is like you do realize why the bodybuilders put on that bronzing oil on their body is to accentuate features. Do you know where that comes from? It comes from the slave trade. You know why? To show the strength and the muscle definition of slaves for when they were working in the field.
Is that true?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Well,
they used to slather lard and oil over the bodies to accentuate the musculature and the physiology of the product of the slaves.
Well, time to look ashy, y'all. Ashy gang, where y'all at? We gonna stop using body oils now.
No, but like for the sheen and stuff, and like, and I mean, some of it looks nice. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it, like, some transformations are good. Like, you are deemed as like you have some like what do you call it? Like asymmetrical features, and then you make them symmetrical.
Which is what models should. Okay, like I follow like legit models on Instagram. And, like, you could tell the amateurs, the Instagram models versus, like, real models signed to an
Right.
agency. And, like, real models, like, especially Target models, I think they're so beautiful. Like, those girls, dude, like, they
It's
look...
biological.
Yeah,
They've
and
got-
they barely have on makeup. And they do is to fill in their eyebrows and just, like, slightly touch up things, get rid of blemishes. Like, I approve of that. But
Right.
this, like, whole, like, transformation to look scary, that's no bueno.
Yeah, I believe so as well, which can lead into another topic.
Right.
Which is excellent.
Another complete topic. I'll be back.
So, the moral of today's story, right? Any fashion is good fashion as long as you're not hurting anyone.
And that you do it from the heart and soul and you actually like it and are not just trying to impress people.
Right. And you're not trying to deceive people. That's why they stopped the 80s shoulder pads, because the people were poking each other's eyes out.
The what?
Shoulder pads from the 80s. Like,
Oh, that. I'm like, what 80s shoulder pad?
From,
Okay.
and Hillary Clinton wears the power suit.
That's funny.
That's to look not like broader shoulders and stuff. It doesn't matter. Thank you all for joining us again. It's been a pleasure talking to you again, Oji.
Thanks for the invite for me to come back. I want to come back again.
Of course. All right. You all be blessed, stay blessed, and I'll talk to you all, see you all, or you'll hear me later.
All right. Adios, guys.
Cheers.